Ready for talking about our movie day today?
Mm-hmm.
Because truth be told, being Final Destination Bloodline, I don't know how to otherwise describe it, but I'm never one for movies that go on a long gap that make a comeback. Like, you ever seen Top Gun Maverick?
No.
Yeah, neither have I. When I first when I was working at my pizza place and I first heard that Top Gun was getting a sequel, I had to look up. It's been nearly 30 years since the first one came out.
Well, yeah.
Like, I didn't think Top Gun was that much of a hit or even a classic. I only know that there's the infamous volleyball scene because everyone parodies the hell out of it. So movies that have like that long gap in between one movie to another, I never really pay too much mind to it.
What would you say is too long of a gap? Because I'm.
Give it about 5 years. Anything more than that, you're pushing it at 10. Okay, 5 years, I'm like accepting it's gone. By 10 years, I'm more accepting that it shouldn't happen anymore.
So do spin-offs fill in that gap, or is it like its own separate entity?
I mean, I think spin-offs can be their own separate entity depending on how independent yet connected to the story they can be. Like, you ever seen Furiosa?
No.
Yeah, I saw bits of it. It's got a good connection to the main Mad Max movies. But it does have its development as a character independently away from the franchise itself.
My only interaction with Mad Max is literally those a fucking group of guys outside of Anime Expo spray painting their teeth silver in front of the Jesus guy.
You ever think those guys actually accidentally used real spray paint though?
More than likely, yeah. But I wasn't in the vicinity, so ruin your own time.
Oh man, Steve, where the hell did you get this good paint at? It's so fake.
Big. This is Krylon.
I got this at the joint. You didn't tell me anything about fakes, Martin.
It was supposed to be food spray paint. Oh damn. Well, you might want to go to your dentist.
Fuck this. I go to the doctors. That shit cause cancer if you swallow it.
So, because I was asking, because I remember you very much enjoyed Saw 10.
See, that's the like exception, the bypass of the law. The Saw franchise itself just builds itself in the most idiotic manner possible. Because after Saw, I want to say Saw 4. I think Saw 4, the franchise itself kind of just went haywire. Like, I don't know how more convoluted these traps could have been, but John Kramer really was trying his best to think of a way to kill like bad people. And then I'm telling you, Saw 5 had to have the most insane traps on the franchise outright.
Yeah.
Because the hold on, wait. Let me see if my memory's correct. Saw 5 is the house care one.
I'm gonna be honest with you, dog.
They're all the same.
Most of the movies just kind of blur one right into another for me.
No, see, I think Saw. No, I'm remembering. Saw 1 is the original, the two people. Saw 2 is the house. Saw 3 is slow ass motherfucking Jeff.
Slow ass motherfucker.
Saw 4 was
I love that we have shirts.
Those shirts are peak right now, and they are going to be worn when Saw 11 comes out. But what was it? It was Saw 4 was that black detective. Cannot remember his name. Not Tap. I think it was James. Whatever. Right?
Literally everyone but the fucking killer's names is lost on me.
Well, we all know the one who got wrongfully killed.
Yeah.
What was her name again?
It was the bitch with that got her ribs ripped out, but I don't remember her fucking name.
All because Amanda was a jealous bitch. Amanda couldn't handle the heat.
Amanda, the original platonic yandere.
Okay, hold on. Then Saw. Yeah, no, I think Saw 5. Saw 5 was the house care one. Saw 6 was the was that 3? No, that was not 3D. That was the one that had crap, who are they?
the power of the cell phone.
Please, why the fuck haven't you used that right
because
now?
I love watching you squirm.
Well, I'm going back and forth, and I'm making it sound like I've never seen a franchise altogether.
Okay.
I'm still standing that Saw 5 might have been the healthcare one. Saw 6 was the one that I'm thinking of.
Saw 3D was 7.
Okay, well, hold on. Which one was the healthcare one? That is, I am like repeating that so much. I might as well be Luigi Mangione. So I need you to hurry and tell me which one the healthcare one is. Why?
They don't give synopsises for each one. Hold on.
Just fucking find the one that has the CEO. There's only one franchise that has a CEO.
Saw CEO. I want to say it's 3D, honestly.
No.
It's giving me something for the Saw organization.
Motherfucker. What the fuck is a Saw organization?
Saw 6. And you want to know why I can tell you it's Saw 6?
Why?
Because it's off of Reddit from r/movie circle jerk. It says United Healthcare CEO fatally shot in Midtown Manhattan, law official says. And it says Saw 6 2009.
Christ. It's Saw 6 HD. real quick, I do need to know, what the hell is the Saw CEO? Is it just like the Saw we use?
It says the Saw franchise is owned by Lionsgate. The CEO of Saw.com, a domain name brokerage company, is Jeffrey M. Gabriel.
It's a brokerage company, so like trading stocks?
I guess so.
All right, beautiful. So stupid.
Thanks, Google AI. You did not give me the answer that I needed.
I can't believe we had to specify which Saw now. Now we have to put in like Lionsgate Godzilla. Or, sorry, Legendary Godzilla. Same difference. All right, but I'm saying that a franchise, back to our original point,
yes,
a franchise can just go on and can go on for as long as possible, as long as the Steam is there. At some point, I do think that Steam will die, and any attempts to bring it back will just be more cash grab than anything.
Yeah.
That said, like with our first exception out the way, we have a second exception. And that was because we just saw Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, the spoilers, by the way, for those that are stopping by, because we're going to be talking about this. And not only are we going to be talking about Bloodline, we're going to be doing a rank system for all Final Destination movies in the franchise. From 1 till, looks like 6. There's been 6 movies.
Yes.
So, ranking all 6 of them, we're going to be giving off spoilers and mostly opinions.
Mm-hmm.
But
no opinions.
Yeah. Trust me. You don't want to give opinions nowadays.
A quiver in your boots.
You will canceled.
You gave me cancer.
Okay, well let's not say cancel like that, because then we're gonna sound like fucking Andrew Tate or any like middle-aged man.
He doesn't have that accent though.
Yeah, but not the Wisconsin Harley Quinn. You gave me cancer. No, I'm talking about like those middle-aged bald men who just like say, we'll do a podcast and we can say what we want.
Uncensored. Uncut.
Raw. So stupid. I have no idea. But I'll give them shit right now. But we kind of started this podcast off. It was the whole, dude, we can start a podcast.
We became the very thing we mock.
I feel like there's no easy way to start a podcast without having that initial thought process.
Unless you're fucking starting an NPR piece. Hello and welcome to the night's discussions.
I'll go with the conspiratorial route when I start talking about some random stuff. The sun is fake. It's more of a hologram projecting down on us right now.
Aliens.
It's meant to cook us for our overlords.
We're slow roasting. We are the frogs in the pot.
You have any idea if someone hears this a little bit, they're going to take it as gospel and start like spreading that?
No.
I'm telling you, it's easy to be a cult leader. I'll stand by that hill, but that's another episode.
I'm not charismatic enough.
So, back to our episode, Uncharisma over there. So we're just going to be ranking all the Final Destination movies. To give off what goes for our rank system here, I say we base it off of several things, but I say 3 factors. I say the storyline, I say the characters, and then I'll also put in the deaths of the characters. I say those three should be a factor into what makes these movies better than the others.
I dead ass just organize them by movie enjoyment and then deaths.
So same concept. Genuinely same concept.
I don't give a shit about. You said characters. I don't. Here's the thing, and I've said it to you before. For every movie before this one, pretty much the characters were fucking, like, aside from like either the main like one or two characters, every other character was fucking insufferable.
True.
Which made it easier to wait and enjoy and watch them die. Because you didn't feel like, oh no, the character. You're like, fuck yeah, fuck you, die.
You went too so loud on that. My microphone picked you up. I really gotta fix that stuff though, but I'm still not tech savvy.
Oh no, there's gonna be a second me potato.
I only do that when we do little TikToks, which you haven't been helping with the art with.
I'm working on it. Give me some art direction. Give me some thumbnails.
All right, well then, here, that could be your list, but
yours is cohesive.
Yeah.
Mine is.
And also, when I say characters, I'm not just talking about whether or not I enjoy them. I'm talking about several sub-factors. I'm talking about, did they deserve it? Were they at least likable or dislikable enough? And also, were they trying to be so smart to avoid it? Because some of the characters in movies were wise enough on how to bypass death, and then they only just made it all worse. But I give them credit for when they make it somewhat through. That's my reasoning for my list.
I'm gonna say something like just in connection to the movie.
Sure.
When I first heard the tagline Bloodlines, I dead ass was like worried, like, oh shit, is it gonna be like the kid that the nurse was having in the second movie that survived the crash? But I'm actually like relieved that they didn't go that predictable route.
I'll be honest, I did not predict that because I completely forgot that.
Damn, she's one of your own though.
I don't care.
Oh my god, how dare you? I remember literally every mixed character in a film.
Oh my god. We're not going off of that.
Yes, continue on. Let's go to our list.
Yeah. Oh, I just put something in my mouse.
I'm gonna hit the fast forward button there, champ.
Yeah, it just gets to that part. Oh, there goes Sunspot again.
Oh, Christ.
Talking about biraciality in the movies. Oh no.
Give me my representation and I'll shut the fuck up.
We talked about Sinners before. I'm pretty sure that was good enough representations. Did we talk about Sinners? I think we talked about Sinners.
We
kind of talk about it. Look, you got your one episode for the month, okay? All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Final destination.
I'm gonna start sounding like the U.S. government. You got your month out of the year. What more do you need?
You get 7 days.
Oh, we're talking about Pride Month coming up.
Oh God.
You gays get your months.
You get your day, you demisexual.
All right. Before we get more
Political.
Political alt-right over here. So our podcast list or our movie list here, as we described, Final Destination. Ooh.
Let's go.
All right. So here's my first. I'm gonna start at the bottom, okay?
Yes.
Start at the bottom, work our way top, so that we're not too surprised, okay?
Okay.
So number 6 for my list, and I don't think it's any surprise. This movie was hot garbage then, and it only worked because it had somewhat interesting kills. That said, overall, anyone in this movie was insufferable, and that movie was The Final Destination.
Final Destination 4.
No, The Final. You look. You can call it Final Destination 4, but it's still going to call it The Final Destination, okay?
Brother, I'm going to call Jigsaw fucking Saw 8. It doesn't matter. It's the 4th movie in the franchise.
Fucking back up, Mom. I got to fix that still. All right. Anyways, before you get your little heated argument over there. Look, The Final Destination still was just one hot garbage of CGI nonsense. And I gotta blame the early 2000s fetish for 3D because any movie that came out during this time period was just in 3D. Like Saw 3D, Nightmare on Elm Street 3D, everything and anything was just 3D, and people were like getting hard at the idea that they can see that.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Yeah, but Shark Boy and Lava Girl is meant to be hot garbage. There's none of those movies made by that company were like top tier.
Oh, what do you mean? Spy Kids was fucking peak.
Spy Kids 3D was peak. Spy Kids 3 was peak.
Rude. Okay, continue.
All right, but look, the story overall and the bullshitness of that ending bit where it was like another premonition that lasted for about 20 minutes just for the ending to be 20 minutes after that too, dragged on for way too long. And I mean, the death, creative enough. They tried to do something new with the technology they just received. I mean, it's obviously got increase in budget. That was like the second time Tony Todd came in, right?
Third physically, fourth role wise. And I'll explain it like in my own list.
Okay.
I'd like to point out though.
Yes, point out something.
Despite that movie being hot garbage, it had one of the funniest death scenes.
What was it? The KKK guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the racist getting dragged down the street on fire. Meanwhile, it's why can't we be friends?
Why can't we be friends?
That's single-handedly one of the funniest deaths I've ever seen.
Let me say something about that death in particular.
Okay.
What made that more hilariously ironic? What was just how easy and avoidable it was, but his character was just that so goddamn stupid and racist at the same time that he just immediately like he was going like 5 miles an hour, right?
Yes.
Like he wasn't going full speed down the road. His character was like slowly being dragged. And all that time he could have just reached over, but no. Mr. fucking KKK over there was just like, you gotta burn the cross.
I gotta love how the fucking security guard was like deadass just slowly watching him go down the road.
Won't you help me? And then it's just the cross still being planted there.
Yeah.
But look, even all that out of the way, the deaths themselves, again, creative enough. I've been back at this again, but what really made it muddied was just how overly use of CGI there was.
Yeah.
Like, again, since it was the new age of technology, they started to try their best with everything being 3D. Man, I have the bad case of hiccups right now. Everything was just 3D CG. It took away from like the traditional means they used for the older Final Destinations.
The practical effects.
The practical effects, yeah.
Which is actually fucking ironic because the most of the fucking car, like the racetrack crash, was practical effects, but just the fact that they added a lot of like graphics on top of it made it look all bad CGI.
True.
Which
that
is like
was true, actually. I remember
damn
that.
Fucking shame.
It felt like also that too. It more felt like it was a waste of just trying that effort just for it all to be overshadowed by CG. Because if you're doing the car crash themselves and everything was looking practical enough as it is, like why even bother with a CG point if you couldn't just get like some model dummies?
Hands down, probably, and I'm gonna say this with like my full fucking chest. I'm gonna say the producers put their fucking hands in it.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. I feel like any movie that has producers interfere greatly with them always just become negative. And the story overall too was just the hot mess because Final Destination isn't really known for the story, but they all do have their own storyline for how each character meets their demise.
Yeah.
This one was more poorly connecting to each other, and especially that one bit where they walk in on security guard hanging.
Yeah.
Sayori style. And then it was just that he didn't die.
He's not his turn.
It's not his turn, but we've seen other movies where there's not their turn yet, and they've done either skipped it because they did something extraordinarily violent, or they just kind of bypass altogether. So I don't know. The Final Destination itself, stories, the characters too, were kind of just obnoxious. I hated that Karen mother. Remember that Karen mother?
Oh yeah, the one that got her eye taken out.
The one that let let her little shits just run around the store, and then kept knocking over some bottles, and she was like, "Timothy, James, don't stop it."
Okay, I'll say that yeah, she was. It was the like afterwards, but I'm glad that she at least had the fucking sense. Like, hey, here's some money. Go get a pizza. Fuck off while I get my hair done.
Yeah, she should have gotten her eyelashes done too.
Oh my god.
Well, probably got half off after what happened to her.
Fuck's sake.
So, the Final Destination number 6, my side of the list. What about yours?
To no one's surprise, it is also Final Destination 4.
What do you mean no one's surprised? What? Oh, okay. Oh, the Final.
Yeah, the Final Destination.
Call it by its birth name, okay?
You know what? No, I'm gonna fucking dead name this asshole to hell and back. It doesn't deserve its title because it wasn't the Final Destination. They said, "Oh no, we really gotta fix this."
You also one of the people very upset over the fact that they called it the Final Destination, and they're like, "No, we could do one more."
Yes, I am upset about that. But other than, like I said, the reason why it's so low for me is it's just the fucking 3D. Which there are some films that even with like a 3D option, when you're watching it without the 3D, it's still like a decent film to watch. This is not one of them. You can very obviously tell that it was always supposed to be 3D, and it fucking ruins it now that that technology is not accessible like as at home, like easily accessible at home anymore. The deaths just weren't giving it for me.
They weren't slaying.
Like
It's
most of Final Destination, I enjoy it because there's like this genuine possibility fear of those most mundane things killing you, which is like sort of the reason why a lot of Junji Ito's horror works, because it's commonplace shit that makes you scared.
Right.
The main like focus is this could happen to you, beware of such and such. But it just felt like really getting my guts sucked out through a pool.
I gotta admit, that shit was still wild when I watched it. When I watched that, I was thinking to myself, there's no way this is gonna work. There's no way. And then it just full on.
They're just like, oh yeah, we need to have an idea, let's do this. Some of the deaths feel lazy. And you mean to tell me, for the fucking mechanic guy, you mean to tell me.
Oh yeah, that one pissed me off.
That he was sent halfway through a fence, but then his body was hollow? You mean to tell me you had no medical staff, no common sense people on your production team that were like, wait a minute,
Boss, you're missing a heart, a lung. It's just meat.
You're missing your spine.
Do you think the deaths in the Final Destination were more meant to be comical than possible? Or was it more for the wow factor?
I feel like having to be more comical is like their only saving grace, honestly.
Because, I mean, let's be honest too about the deaths. Every one of those was more embedded on a fear we had as growing up, like an irrational one.
Yeah, the escalator sucking you in.
Exactly. That's the one that I've always had a fear when I was a kid too. Never really wanted to ride an escalator because I always thought I'd get caught underneath it.
You had to make sure your shoelaces were tied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there's also the
car wash.
The car wash is one. But what I was going to say though, not really a like great fear, but the pool falling on top of that Texan guy, the cowboy.
Oh, the bath.
Yeah, like just that suddenly happening, like, and right now.
Yeah.
We have a second story above us.
Yes.
So it's that like prospect that just suddenly it can give out.
If it happens, it happens.
Fuck you! I got a job to do. I need to go to work. I got rent.
You'll get a wreath in your school's main office, and then you'll be forgotten within a month. I'm sorry.
Will I at least get the 6th page on my newspaper?
You probably get like a footnote. You haven't contributed enough to society to get like a front page.
Oh yeah, and this guy died.
Oh yeah, this fucker's gone.
Well, the death's this asshole here. Rip Bozo, I'm different. How do you die from a bed falling on you?
How do you die from your neighbor's bath collapsing on you? You grown man taking baths, pansy.
Little bitch.
I heard he was using a bath bomb too.
Trying to smell scented and shit. Look
Tropical
at that.
citrus. What the fuck?
Fruity pebble mixture. Who the fuck is ooh la la?
Okay. But and other than like, yeah, that one death being the funniest thing,
every other death was just not
It was
hitting.
not kicking. It was not hitting.
And also, can I say too, add on for something real quick? I think the premonitions were like the premonition deaths were the weakest premonition deaths, and also the tragedy in question was one of the most convoluted bullshit tragedies out there.
Yeah.
Because it can happen. All right, it can happen. We've seen NASCAR have accidents at a great scale of deaths too for people in real life.
That wooden bench piece was not going through that dude's head from that angle.
Not only that, but I think the tire part too at the end, like when it came back to reality, when the tire just curved its way, it became a heat seeker after that. It was the missile knows where it is because it knows where it isn't.
Redneck bitch spotted.
Honestly, I'm telling you. Like,
quick aside, I need to say, I need someone to edit that clip of her getting hit with the tire. Specifically, when it hits, I need them to add Lightning McQueen's Chow!
I'll say more of that. Bailiff whack his pee-pee.
Oh, God.
Still, though, the premonition deaths overall were lazy. The one that was more lazy for me, remember when the roof was collapsing and those two people just basically lie down?
Yeah.
Like, comfortably lie down on the steps and it fell on them. Yeah, I'm like, you so could have dodged. You so could have, like, gone up and ran.
Why didn't you dodge?
I'm like, where's Piccolo when you need him? This guy would have gotten them out the way real quick. But all right, sorry, go back into yours.
So well, I know there's other movies with worse characters, and I don't know. Maybe the main character was just too much of like a common guy trope.
Right.
He's just like, oh yeah, he's just doing his thing. He's just existing. I don't know. Maybe at that point in my life, I had seen enough like shoujo and school animes to just blow my brains out, so I'm used to seeing this guy.
Allegedly. We can't really endorse that on podcast, dog.
Oh, then edit. Okay, I'll rewind that.
No, rewind. Just say in Minecraft. That's what everyone says nowadays, apparently.
I don't know if I've seen enough anime that it makes me sick of seeing that guy. But I'm just so sick of seeing like the common dude. It's just the standard regular Joe. And honestly, the second I saw him, I'm like, I'm not rooting for you to live. I don't give a shit if you croak.
He was gonna have that harem at the end until that 4 big rig stars just going.
Just having the 2 girls. Like, I will. That's another thing I will give that movie. That the ending graphics where it showed like all the previous deaths, but it was like X-ray. I will admit that was pretty baller.
That was pretty baller. I will admit. Also, that was one of because we're gonna talk more about the other movies, but that was still one of the greatest fuck yous by deaths.
Yes.
Of like, oh no, you ain't getting out of this.
I will reiterate what you said earlier. Death is a little bit of a cunty bitch.
Death does not go the normal. I want a Final Destination movie where just one character dies purely from an aneurysm. The silent killer. Yeah, just goes out that way without anyone figuring out.
Gingivitis.
Just how'd he die? Oh man, he had an aneurysm. Careful, my drink's right there.
Oh, your drink? Oh shit. Oh.
I'm still gonna put it right there.
Okay, well I won't move my foot around. Why are you putting a red drink on Pato?
Because I don't want to put it on the stand behind me because I want to reach around.
Pato, brought to you.
It's not Tuesday night.
By Pato, the pig ottoman.
What are you fucking trying to promote a company that doesn't exist? And
it still exists. It just doesn't offer the pig.
It's not named Pato, you autistic bitch.
But the ottoman's name is Pato because it's a pig ottoman.
Can we get back to the list before your autism takes somewhere else?
Me and Pato don't appreciate this, but okay.
All right. Do you have anything more to say about the finalization?
Nah. You can go to your 5.
Do you think the finalization was worth seeing in theater?
You would need to ask someone that saw it in theaters.
Okay, well, what if they brought it back now? Would you see it in theaters?
If it was discounted, maybe. I'm not spending the full fucking price on that.
How much is it today? $12. Fuck no.
Fuck no. Put it back to the price it was back then, maybe.
All right. So I agree with you too about that. If it's theatrical release again, half off only.
Yeah.
All right, the next one, number 5 for me,
Mm-hmm.
coincidentally, appropriately numbered. The 5th one goes for Final Destination 5.
Mm.
Right, and I know this is probably one of those movies that people in the fandom kind of like because it feels a good like tie around or tie in with the first movie.
Mhm.
So I'm not saying it was horrible, because if it was horrible, it would be right below the Final Destination. But like you said before, all the characters kind of are meant to be people who are insufferable, and like you can't really wait to see how they go, because most of the people in this movie, the 5th one, were despicable in their own outright. But what made Final Destination 5 better than the Final Destination, I kind of liked that new introduction about how you can avoid death. The take a life of another,
Mm-hmm.
and then you gain those years. Because truth be told, that connecting or that plot made it much more interesting when we started seeing these characters be desperate about what to do to survive.
It heightened the stakes.
It did heighten the stakes. And then it connects more to when one of these characters, I forget the friend's name, but when he snaps after his girlfriend gets killed,
Yeah.
like that was really good.
Discount. Oh shit. Someone gave this dude like a nickname. Oh, it's one of the Franco brothers.
James, Dave.
Dave.
Uh-huh.
They called the dude the Discount Dave Franco.
Oh, he did look like Dave Franco, didn't he?
Yeah.
Holy hell, I remember that. And
when he started snapping, like, yeah, that's what made it a little more interesting rather than watch people just like floundering, like, oh, how can we? It's like, no, it's like, oh shit, we need to kill people.
yeah. And but more to it was that it was okay. I'm trying to think again, but my hamster's slowly dying.
Don't make a cheddar joke.
Damn it.
Ha ha, I caught you, bitch.
All right. Well, for the good podcast, I won't make a joke about your hamster dying in a stupid manner. Final Destination style, honestly.
My god, leave my hamster alone.
Hamster died because it overstuffed a tube and it tube fell right on them. I don't know if that's a suicide or if that's just poor timing.
Cheddar was not following OSHA regulations, okay?
Yeah. Badass couldn't follow any dietary
She was
recommendations.
not fat. She was a healthy hamster.
Anyways, so the 5th one, the characters or the plot development was interesting, was that new introduction. The characters overall were following the standard trope for Final Destination movies. Most were insufferable. A lot of them I was like eager to see go, because that asshole, the one with glasses who went to the massage parlor.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking to myself, man, this has to be the most pretentious asshole who thinks he's hot shit despite having a balding hairline at 30. So I don't know how he's going to go, but it cannot happen soon enough.
$10, he got his fucking confidence because he was force-fed the whole, oh, the geeks will run the world. And once he got into fucking like a tech job, he suddenly thought, oh, now I'm the big dog. No, dog, you're still getting your ass handed to you outside of a bar on 22nd Street.
I mean, the movie was like in the 90s, I think, or well, it was before the first one. I know that, but I think the first one was 2000 even, right?
Yes.
So yeah, it did happen in the 90s.
No, it didn't happen in the 90s. It happened in the 2000s.
The 5th one.
Yes, it happened in the year 2000.
I thought the 5th one happened a year before. Are we really going to spend most of the episode trying to figure out when the timeline was?
Keep talking. I will do the research.
Thank you. But despite even the characters being insufferable for the most part, seeing some of the humanity being developed in them, like mostly how I will never remember any character's name for most of it, but how the protagonist and his girlfriend were honestly trying their best to avoid, especially that climax at the end of fighting the psychotic ex-best friend at this point now, because I'm pretty sure they weren't best friends when he was shooting at him. And then I kind of got lost at the cop story part when the cops were trying to investigate how he knew all that was going to happen on the bridge. But even then, it didn't really impact the story overall. So I just feel like that was like a red herring thing they were trying to do. Saying about like, oh, well, if the cop gets involved, then he gets arrested and they can't avoid it any further. But, you know, even when he died, when the ex-best friend killed him, I also had to wonder, was that cop going to die later then? Or
I think he might have just been like a coincidental death, because like again, you're focusing on the main group,
yeah,
so of course there's gonna be like other casualties, but
I guess. And then the deaths themselves too, premonition wise, rather creative. The premonition deaths were kind of interesting to see. I think my most the most diabolical from them all. Do you remember when the tar spilled onto that?
oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's falling off his body. I was so disgusted. And also the other one that like got me was when the steel rope swung and then hit the second best friend.
Yeah.
That one was surprising to see because of how quick it just happened.
Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you're like, oh, where'd he go?
So initially, the accident does happen in 1999,
So the 90s.
but it does go into the 2000s.
Like the movie process goes from 99 to 2000.
Yeah,
And okay.
because the plane crash did happen on May 13th, 2000.
Okay. Well, at least it got to celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
There you go. Valentine's Day one more time. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and then the my last note though, the ending was hilarious because if you remembered that second best friend who quote unquote killed that upset worker.
Yeah, the older Roy.
Yeah.
I swear I remember his fucking name.
Well, yeah, he was got the most like annoying ass name, Roy.
Roy
Law shot for Keith.
Travis. Sweet Trav.
But when he died, and I was like, oh no, an asshole did. And then I found out that he gets his years. I was thinking to myself, cool, second best friend gets to live. I've liked him so far. Then the ending comes, and it just opens up with, yeah, it's a shame what happened to Roy, you know, but it was going to happen eventually. He had cancer. He was about to have like 4 months to live. And then it just ends with the fucking plane bit falling right onto the bar.
Wheel. Yeah.
I don't have the engine.
Oh.
You don't gotta fact check that. It doesn't matter.
I want to.
The plane fell on the guy. I don't think it matters what part of the plane. No one reads the obituary and says, "Oh man, was it the wheel or the engine?" I'm pretty sure he would have survived if the wheel hit him. It might have been a little broken up a bit, but ooh, a little rubber. So that's where number 5 is on number 5 of my list. How about you?
Again, coincidentally, number 5 on my list is Final Destination 5.
I swear to fucking God, if our listeners are saying I'm gonna crash.
I'm gonna fucking laugh if it is.
All right,
Here's the thing. Honestly, I would have been perfectly content with 5 being the last film. Like, it did a good roundabout. And I enjoyed the bridge collapse. I enjoyed the chaos. I will say the weird sheets, like metal sheets coming through, and then like also the rebar piercing the friend. You could tell it was fake and it was weird. That kind of undid it for me.
Yeah.
But I will, and here's the thing. I do appreciate that the whole killing someone, taking their years. It is a double-edged sword. Because you don't know how long that person has to live.
Right.
So, yeah, it would make sense for like my homie who killed Roy only getting like a little bit extra because Roy had cancer.
What if like after being told Roy only had 4 minutes, what if he just killed the guy that just told him?
Jesus Christ. Honestly.
It's just like the plane engine just stays in the air for what do we do now, boss? He's got another like 2 years now. What do we do?
Like even then, yeah, I feel like you'd also, I can't believe I'm bringing Smile into this.
Oh my God. All right,
in order to avoid that situation, you would need to be smart enough to kill someone and not get caught. That's what that dude didn't do that was in Smile. Like, sure, he gets to live, but he's in jail.
Yeah.
So the question would be would living longer but in jail, in American jail, be worth it?
Don't get my Swedish treatment like they do over there. Not
Yeah, no. The Swedes, they doing rehabilitation correctly.
oh my 3-course meal, damn it. Okay, but on to another point I actually thought about for Final Destination 5. So, do you think prison executors get the years of the inmates that are being killed?
I think it's only when you're targeted by death, like after these premonitions.
Okay, so as if you cheat deaths, then you get the option to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, all right. I guess deaths only had special exceptions.
Because if Death had to keep reorganizing all that, I feel like he'd get fucking exhausted, man. He's got busy. He's got Rube Goldberg-esque fucking deaths to set up. He doesn't have time to deal with you if you get more years, okay? He'll get back to you.
Yeah, the Bloodline just shows that, honestly. All right, but onto the graphic nature, like just how it overall looked for the deaths. I will agree with the rhubarb scene or the rebar.
Rebar, yeah.
Yeah, rebar, because it could have been better if the seconds building up to that moment happening, his character did not suddenly become static and stiff.
Yeah.
Like his expression was just flat even before he died. So I was thinking to myself, wow, they either told this guy not to move an inch or they have the best mannequin out there right now. Either way, this is bland.
I will say I am annoyed, and this is a personal annoyance. I'm going to blame this movie for the reason why you won't get LASIK.
Yes, never will. You can blame a lot of Final Destination for why I won't get like a lot of stuff, but not just the LASIK part. Can we both agree though that even though this movie's at number 5, the gymnastic scene was the most agonizing thing to watch?
Yes, that if you want the like embodiment or like the full if you don't have anxiety, like mental illness anxiety, if you want to know how it feels like to have that, just watch that death scene, just the entirety of the gymnastic scene, because you're just on your seat going, oh my god.
It's always the build up for these deaths that the movie all works perfectly for. But I was thinking more of just like how it looked overall too, because that looked painful. She was still twitching, you know that, right?
Yes.
Like she was not dead immediately. Her body was still in the state of awareness before she even went. So seeing that was just the what was it? The shin bone sticking out, the elbow one way, the spine bent. I'm like, oh, just put her out of her misery right now. She's still moving.
I feel like that would be another reason why this movie is above like Final Destination 4. Like even if 4 was a decent film, it would that death specifically would put it above, because there was no death in the fourth one that made me like literally go, oh, like jump back and like need a minute. In the fifth one, yeah, the gymnastics scene, it's the kind where you had to like pause and you go, oh my god, okay.
What was I gonna say next? Oh, then what do you think about just the connection? Do you think it worked though?
I will say
the connection to the first movie. I mean,
I know that I can be as dense as rocks when it comes to twists.
Right.
Like you'll catch onto that shit in a
Uncle
minute.
Aaron.
Fucking shut up about Uncle Aaron.
Wow.
Oh no, the person whose father figure walked out can't really, maybe the uncle's just busy. I don't know, dude.
Dog, the fact that he disappeared around the same time the Prowler appeared and was gone for that duration
it's
too.
It's an uncle.
So what?
I don't know. Maybe it's just because like literally my nearest uncle 2 states up.
Are we trauma dumping in Maine right now?
This is not trauma. This is just a fact. My uncle's 2 states up. I literally, if he came down to visit and was gone the next day, it's like, oh, okay.
All right, fine. Go ahead. Back to your point about the twist.
But like, even though I typically don't get twists very easily, that one literally was one that like, it was like peak M. Night Shyamalan type twist.
Whoa.
No. I'm saying the good Shyamalan twists. I mean, like The Village and
Clearly, a lot of people heated at that comment right there.
and Signs.
Given the fact that The Village still had a 5.4 rating on IMDb.
Look, the twist is good. The movie's eh.
Hey, I guess so.
Just seeing that was the same flight. I literally got off the couch, looked at my mom, like, Mom,
they hit the second tower.
oh my God, not that.
No, that's the Robert Pattinson twist.
Oh God.
What was the I can't remember that movie, but everyone's reaction.
It's just everyone's like, wait, no.
Why are we zooming out? Why are we so? Oh.
But I feel like that's a good twist because yes, there were indications throughout this film. Once you go back and watch it, very obvious
Are
indications.
we talking about Final Destination or that one with Robert Pattinson?
5.
Okay,
I'm
don't
talking
check
about Final
me.
Destination.
All right.
Like the fact that they're still using flip phones and they have those clunky ass monitors, like even in an office, and even if you were close enough and you see the little, the acupuncturist coupon, you see the fucking expiration date, and it said like, oh, used before, and then
In 1999.
no, it says used before such and such date 2000, and he's like, oh, it's just about to expire.
The hints were there. I was actually unaware.
And it floored me that it was like, oh fuck! Like, what? Were you surprised or?
No, yeah, I was surprised.
Okay, see, that's
because when I saw 5, I think I was like 18 or something like that. So my brain wasn't fully aware of like twists at the moment.
Okay.
So I was like still in that boat of like.
My mic.
I'm so sorry. Are you good? All right, you're still being picked up.
Am I getting picked up?
I caught your mic. My mistake.
Okay.
All right. What was I gonna say?
If you didn't want to hear me talk, you could just tell me.
All right.
Oh, fuck off.
So what I was saying though was that I was not aware of twists at the time, with being so young and still having like a short attention span. So when it happened, I was thinking to myself, huh, why are they arguing on a plane? That's so familiar. What is? Oh,
damn it, Sawa!
Just I immediately started calling out, Ma! Ma!
We all had a Ma get the camera moment.
Well, my mom and I used to watch the Final Destination franchise quite a bit, so when I saw 5 without her, because it was on HBO when we had it. So when I saw it with her, I was thinking to myself, ah!
You picked up the phone and was like, Mom, you're never gonna believe this.
They brought back the cast. They didn't bring back the cast. They just de-ageified a lot of people.
Yeah. I will say, like, if that was all just like deep fake and AI, or like, I won't say AI, CGI. Don't speak the evil name. Excellently done. Like it didn't look like, I don't know, maybe it's just because it was only a flash of a moment, but it didn't seem like it was.
It looked smooth.
It looked smooth. It looked like them when they were younger. And yeah, that I fucking really enjoyed that twist. It's rare that I enjoy a twist, but I fucking love that twist.
Fair enough. All right, so that's number 5 for both of us, which is coincidental. So if the next one is going to be the same one, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be pissed, and this whole podcast is just going to be us like circle jerking each other and like I agree, that makes sense. Yeah,
I do.
All right, number 4. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gauging a reaction right now. Final Destination 3. Motherfucker, I will beat you with an inch of your life. You better change that number right now, dog.
No, I can't. I have a legitimate reason.
So do I. Actually, in hindsight, I actually should have switched 3 and 5. Now I'm thinking about it more. But fuck it, I already have the list. And I'm not trying to be different. I'm literally having a genuine reason why I want to switch.
Okay, tell me the reason.
All right. So I think 5 had a slightly better story than 3. 3 had here. I'm gonna give you my reason for why 3 was supposed to be at number 4 originally.
Okay.
So the deaths overall, premonition and normal one wise, were kind of just straightforward. Like there was no variety of deaths to it, and it was mostly in the realm of fear, the possibility for the fear of like a roller coaster going off the rails. So a lot of their deaths obviously can were connected to the railroad. The roller coaster.
Roller coaster, yeah.
So a lot of them were just either dying because they either get impaled or they fell off. Um, so in terms of just the variety of deaths, there wasn't too much variety, but that's what I enjoyed mostly about it because it kept it still on that same pun intended track. And then when you get out of it, the deaths too, like the ones that happened in the movie, confirmed, were more fascinating in that, oh shit, I never thought about that being impossible for a death. Like it introduced new ways to go, like the tanning bed.
Yeah.
The fucking tanning bed. Like I was thinking, I'm like,
I love the transition between the tanning beds and the coffins.
slave queen.
It's like
Even in death, you look fleek.
burnt on fleek.
Hashtag hot.
Hashtag hot.
Mm,
Hashtag
but-
girls on fire.
But more so for the other deaths too, because I was like, oh man, that happened. That can happen possibly.
Mm.
The one death that probably was too far out of like the realm of possibility, the one where the pervert got killed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when the engine just shot out because of a car accident. I'm like, okay, calm down now. Look, that's interesting and all. I don't think an engine's gonna shoot out of another car just from a car accident.
Will
Like-
say I enjoyed it though.
Yeah, we all enjoyed when that asshole died. I will shamefully admit I think about his quote most of the time. The whole "show me your titties."
God.
I'm like, I don't know why his delivery for that was just comical. But every other death too was like, oh, the jock who got his head crushed,
Yeah.
the lady who got nails impaled in her head,
Yeah.
and then the guy who got crushed by that big sign falling on him.
Yeah.
I feel like also just a sidebar, that was at least an example of what happened to I think he was a bully or something from the first movie. Remember when the first ended was like the sign falling?
Yeah.
He was kind of a bully and then like started just like
Oh,
being
he
more
was-
understanding.
He was dead ass a bully. Just even if they got like relatively cool at the end, he was still a dick.
Yeah. But
Carter, you dick.
and then the ending too. Maybe actually I'll still keep it as it is though, because now the ending on my mind slightly better than the fifth one. The third one was more interesting to see because how hopeless it was now.
Mm.
It's all the Final Destination movies are hopeless in their endings because they don't cheat deaths, they never miss it.
No one cheats death.
Yeah, but for some reason, I think in the third one you get the life of everyone who survived or evaded deaths. You saw that they're going to college, they got a new job.
You see
They-
that flicker of hope.
Yeah, you see that. Wow, they really are like celebrating life now. They're improving. They're becoming something more.
And then you see that 180 in the reflection. You're like, okay.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking to myself, well, then why do you have to be such an asshole? Why didn't you just gonna have to, like, one of them just got cleared from cancer, the other one just got a college degree, and all of a sudden you're like, I think this train needs to go off the rails for a second.
I never cared for public transit.
I'm telling you, Des does have a vendetta against public transit because I think every movie he's been involved in involved some variant of public transit. Whether it was the bridge scene that had the bus, whether it was the plane, whether it was the train, Des seems to be more enamored with the public transit system.
Is death on the plane? Is death on the train? Is
No.
death in a car?
Des is in the Department of Transit and is seeking to make sure improvements are made before any more fatalities are happening. But in the story wise though, I gotta admit, the story was kind of weak. Not one of the strongest points of the franchise, but what made it at least somewhat tolerable was how these characters were trying their damnedest to find that cheat system that they heard about.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to figure out who should be the one to basically bite the bullet, make the list go awry.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you see with most of the movies, one of them crashes out because someone they cared about died in a gruesome manner. In this case, it was this.
McKinley.
Sure.
Ian McKinley.
I don't. Wait, that was Ian?
I believe his name is Ian, but I know his last name is McKinley because he makes the phrase like, "How lame is it that my last name is the same name as my high school?"
Oh, I thought you were talking about from Shameless.
No,
Oh, I don't. Sure, I'll.
Mickey is in the second one.
You fucking serious?
Yes.
Oh, he was. Oh, we'll talk
He
about
was
the second one
the
in a
dude that
bit.
got blown up.
Yeah, rest in peace, Mickey. Who all loved Shameless.
You would have loved microwaves.
Fuck. But but the third one though, the story, despite it being more of the weaker sort, I really enjoyed the development these characters had for that bypass. Like I've been talking about for a minute ago. Character wise too, God Almighty, all of them were insufferable. Every last one of them, somewhat except the protagonist, who I still cannot remember the name of.
Really?
Look, my only exception for her was she at least had a strong gumption of trying to save everybody else. And everyone, look, again, that could go for every protagonist. That's every protagonist. But she genuinely was more outputting.
Proactive.
Proactive. Yeah, she was more proactive. She was more proactive than the protagonist and the ones before that I listed in trying to find a way to escape death.
Yeah.
And that was more just also how you see these characters she's trying to help probably don't deserve it because every last one of them were such pretentious assholes who pretty much just scoffed at the notion. I gotta tell you, when that jock died, I laughed because of how quickly it happened, how his whole ego literally just came flat.
Crush.
Yeah, it was like, Death is afraid of me. I'm like, champ, nobody. You ain't him. And then that just happened. And then you're just thinking to yourself, well, she tried her best. And honestly, what more can you do? So, Final Destination 3, though, I think I still will actually keep it at 4, though.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll move it below 5. If I can do anything with it, I can say it is tied with 5.
Okay.
And the deaths themselves, too, were still pretty much creative, like I said before. So, yours?
On to my number 4.
What's your number 4?
Final Destination 3.
You don't say. All right, give me your reason, too.
Okay, well, I will say the biggest, stupidest reason, if it's at 4, and it's honestly weird because I know there's another film where he is not in it, but all we get is Tony Todd's voice.
Oh, as the devil?
As the devil, and then as the train announcer.
I feel like that's one of the same. It's part of the same, right? Oh, the train announcer. Sorry.
Yeah, he's like, next stop, end of the line.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Like, you just hear his voice. And, like, yeah, if you know Tony Todd's voice, you're like, oh, it's Tony Todd. But I want to see Bloodworth. I want my mortician.
Mm-hmm.
I need my creepy, cryptic dude.
True.
And so
loves
that's
Tony.
like the stupidest reason why it's like on the lower end. But I honestly, another reason why I did not care for fucking the main girl. Honestly, I'm such a control freak, you know. Just say you have OCD, sit the fuck down, shut up, and try to help people.
Just say you're different, lol, ooh woo.
Like, it's basically Bella Swan, but in pastel sweaters.
What's that one scene again from Vampire Suck? The whoa, you're shining.
It's just my bling.
All right.
I did enjoy the big death. I feel bad for the fucking actors.
The big death? Oh, you're talking about the final?
No, I mean like the starting one, the premonition.
Oh, the premonition. Okay.
I did enjoy that because, like, yeah, it is a justifiable death, especially if it's like a traveling carnival.
Mm-hmm.
Because those things have the absolute shittiest safety regulations.
Why? So you think I don't want to go on my fair rides?
Oh, come on, have a little fun.
Fuck you.
Get a concussion in the zipper.
Concussion my ass. You want to get concussion? Let's go on the Viper at Six Flags, dude.
Oh my god. So yeah, that is like a genuine fear, and then also the tanning bit. I fucking love the tanning beds, honestly.
I know. You talked about it for a moment. How much did you love that scene though when the transitioned?
I lost my shit laughing because of the transition. It's just suddenly, it's just not the fact that they died together, it's the fact that you have to realize their families purposely buried them together.
Besties in life, besties in death. You want to know something I just remembered?
What?
I was young when I saw this movie, but I just remember my dad made a joke when we watched it together.
God.
So we were watching that scene happening, and they're getting like burnt alive in the tanning bed. And I didn't know what my dad meant, but now I'm thinking about it, it was stupid as shit.
Oh God.
He said, "Well, I guess they don't. I guess they have to save on cremation now, huh?"
Oh my God.
So I'm like, "Wow."
Papa T, no.
I was like, "What does that mean?" Don't worry about it, son. Just keep watching the movie.
Just watch the people dying, child. I will both laugh, but I also think it's like a fucking stupid. Typically, these protagonists are like, here's all this past evidence to support my claims. What do you mean your evidence photos is a broken plate picture of Abraham Lincoln and 9/11?
Was that really one of the evidence?
Her picture, she had two pictures where it showed like the photo plate for Abe Lincoln was cracked right where he was shot. And then 7/11, oh God. 9/11 was like someone had taken a picture of the Twin Towers like I think a week before, and it showed like the silhouette or the shadow of a plane hitting it.
There were signs everywhere.
You mean normal air traffic? What the fuck do you mean?
And it's the sign you see from the crackhead at the IHOP. Oh, they're everywhere.
End of days, man. End of days.
Yeah, sure, Tim. Go ahead and take another cup of coffee.
I just, as much as like typical it is to like just not enjoy characters, I will say, oddly enough, the one character I did enjoy was McKinley, because yeah, typically if your loved one dies and you crash out, but he was like a fucking raging bull. He was dead ass going straight for whoever was next. He was not like hesitating, he was not stopped, he was fucking just pinpointed on her ass.
I'm telling you, it was such hatred, like anger towards her, and it was more terrifying because at some point I expected him to pull up to school with a trench coat.
Oh God, yeah, he looked the part.
I'm kind of surprised it didn't have that part. Like, but when he was at that final scene trying to find her and with all the chaos, I just felt the venom from that actor. Like, it was such a good character.
He's one of my favorites, honestly. Not my favorite, but one of
a good antagonist.
He's a good secondary, because we all know the main antagonist in these films is death.
I feel like that's not such an antagonist for that matter. It's more of a man versus nature kind of thing for that.
The antagonist doesn't necessarily always mean villain. It's the opposing force for your character.
True. I was thinking more of just like how some plots have man versus man, man versus machine, man versus elements, environment, such like that. I think this is more of a man versus nature kind of thing, because death is natural subject.
Yeah.
But death is not natural with the death in question, because I'm pretty sure not a lot of those fucking ways to die were not like conceived. It was more just a board meeting of hotheads and lines of people being like, what if the tire just cut her in half?
Death in the Final Destination universe, deadass just took a back seat, was watching 1,000 Ways to Die, and was taking notes.
Death just did a line of coke and was just thinking to itself,
I can do amazing things.
What if the escalator just started chewing her up?
Munch, munch, crunch,
Oh,
crunch.
yeah.
I want a death burger.
But characters, you sound like you are at least tolerable to them, more so against the protagonist.
I will not. I'll say that it's very rare in these films that the premonitioner is like a likable character that you want to actually root for, because sometimes they're just as fucking annoying as the rest of them.
Right.
Sadly, she falls into it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's just because personally I don't fucking like being around those type of people. I don't know. Maybe it was a well done character, but I just don't care for that person as a person.
All right. Well, you know what? I feel like that also makes sense too. Character in question for her, at least, wasn't so more strong, but like I'm saying, still She was very proactive when trying her best to make sure everyone survived, or more so than the ones from the ones I've named before.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one in The Final Destination was more of a crybaby for most of the film. They didn't really have much means to help out people, and always seemed to be running a little behind, truth be told.
I will say though that her whole like little warning signs, I did like them a lot more than the previous two films.
Mm-hmm.
Because the ones in the final just fucking ugly. The fucking 3D just, no, get the fuck away from me. Sit down. Go look at a newspaper and look at the clippings. There you go.
They're in the writings. Look at that shadow of an airplane flying to the tower again.
They're
okay?
in the patterns on the ceiling. That would be better than whatever the fuck that was.
There's a red dot on JFK's picture there. What does it mean? But so number 4, I guess again we both agree. Number 3.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3. I'm going to put as Final Destination 1.
Oh.
Okay, we finally deviated.
Yes.
Finally, thank God. Because I was starting to wonder, like, did we just look at each other's list for a second? Good. All right. So number 3 is Final Destination 1. And I know it's weird to have the start of a franchise be anywhere else than the first. But look, it was a new experience, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And interesting for how these matter of deaths happen. But what takes it away from number 1 or even number 2, the story itself was still in rough shape. Because, again, we are now introduced to characters trying to find a way to avoid death through normal means. And while I'm not saying that there should have been like an excuse or an out given to them like you see in other films, you kind of just watch them die and nothing else happens. It's more of just watching to see what's next. And while we do get the introduction to the whole idea of just like having death skip a person, and then that's how the whole system goes away. It was good. It was a good introduction, but the plot and the story overall did not really care for as much as I did for these next two. I'm going to say.
Yeah. Well, I will agree because it was at that point just a fleshed out X-Files episode.
Yeah.
So
yeah, actually.
It didn't have its own footing yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get why it's there for you.
Because even if it was the start of the franchise with rough edges, you know,
it's pretty good edges.
It was pretty good edges. Like, I'm not saying it was bad outright. It was probably one of the greater starts of a franchise, and in my opinion, is amongst the top 3 for horror starters, and that goes along with Saw, and then Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Those are at least my 3 starter for a horror franchise. But what could be more improved upon for the movie itself is that if you know about the alternative ending, right?
Yes.
So I don't know which I would have liked more, because even the ending we got, I was thinking, wow, so you're pretty much fucked either way. There's no way out.
Mm-hmm.
But in the alternate ending, it made me wonder if they stuck to that route, would they even have done a franchise overall? Because
good question.
Yeah, because all these movies have just had that same question: can you cheat death? So if the first movie just outright gave an answer, and there was a solution, would the franchise be even successful? Afterwards, because it's like finding the answer key for a test. You know what to do, get that right, and you're done.
Yeah.
But overall, despite the plot being, number 3 for all the movies, I still enjoyed it. The characters themselves were somewhat tolerable. The one I really just couldn't stand too much was the teacher, who was just heavily blaming the student who had the premonition.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking to myself, lady, he just had a freak out. And honestly, I give it validation for it, because as someone who doesn't like flying either, he freaks out. That's fine. All right. Just
I'm getting my ass off the fucking plane too.
I'm gonna die either way if I do though. I'm just gonna stay on and accept what happens next. All right. But for her to just solely blame, firstly, it's survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it should have been me, not him, on the plane.
Yeah.
But to just have him villainized as like a killer, despite not even doing anything to warrant such suspicion, I really was more pitiful and rooting for her death because all the entire film she was just mopey, accusing, and not really being
Like you're being antagonistic to a fucking literal child.
yeah, like that's a teenager, that's a high
who
schooler.
Also lost like classmates and friends.
Exactly. Like, what are you doing again other than just whining and moaning while this kid's trying to, not die? But and for the deaths myself, the premonitions were again like the third one. It was one straightforward. On a plane, they all die in their own manner, but it's mostly connected to a plane crash.
Yeah,
like explosion. They all died in an explosion for the most part.
For most part, yeah.
Yeah. But even then, for early 2000s, the CGI and animation used for the explosion itself, pretty solid.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, that scene bit when the plane's taking off and everyone's arguing in the lobby, and all you see is the guy from American Pie watch as the plane leaves.
There they go. Yeah. And here we stay.
Mm-hmm. And then you just see it explode. Like,
the glass shattering was pretty fucking amazing.
Intense. Yeah. Honestly, and two, also, I thought they would be higher up in the air, other than being like just left off when it happened. But I don't know. Maybe Des was like, "All right, they're far enough. No one else is gonna get hurt. Line them up, Tony."
Yeah, they're over the water. Go.
So that premonition Des, and then that first part of the movie where the plane explodes, loved it, enjoyed it quite a bit. And then as we go on furthermore, we start seeing how Des gets creative with all these other ones. I gotta say, this has been the most tame Des has been in the franchise.
Yeah.
That was extraordinarily effective. Because when I saw that friend go in the bathtub,
yeah,
I was thinking to myself, wow, that felt, personally, being my age now, I was thinking to myself, who the hell has a a clothesline in the bathtub nowadays?
Like, you could see them at like hotels, but in your own house?
Yeah, like, do you not have a dryer or backyard perhaps? Come on, like, where's the logic in that part? But still, even in that scene itself, it wasn't graphic. I think the only death in that movie I'm trying to remember that was like heavily graphic was the American Pie, whose name I still can't remember. Actor and character.
You can just only remember his quotable line.
Yeah, I just remember that he was just in American Pie. That's it.
Carter, you dick.
But yeah, look, and that's not saying the teacher had a like less graphic deaths, but being mostly stab wounds and then just dying to an explosion, not as bad as you might see from other movies in the franchise.
What's your opinion on like death covering its tracks, quote unquote, for that one friend's death?
What the fuck is going to arrest him? The Archangel Gabriel?
Like, why are you sucking the water back up where it came from, Death? I'm a little confused. Like,
the bleach starts magically flying in the air so he can remove his fingerprints from the knife.
Oh no. Oh, I touched the wire. Oh no.
He's on the phone now. God, I messed up.
Yahweh, please.
I didn't wear the gloves this time. They're gonna get me this time, God. What do I do?
Your literal archangel. Why are you worried? They're gonna catch me.
It's Uriel, right? Who's the Archangel of Death?
I think it's Azrael. Or I don't know. I'm going off Lucifer logic. You might want to look into a fucking like actual
the fucking show.
Well, sometimes you get inspiration for things and you apply them properly. I don't fucking know.
Fair enough. All right.
Fun fact: Angel of Death, Lucifer, Ruby.
Ruby?
Steven Universe.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Never knew that actually.
All right.
But what was I saying? Oh yeah. Just still sticking with your question though. That's where I'm starting. That's where it all started for me when I was thinking to myself, "Damn, Des, you extra. You're doing too much right now." Because even if the deaths themselves weren't graphic, his method of hiding his evidence and presence was just, dude, come on. You really need to have that water hidden? What are they going to do? Arrest you? What is this? Your third time in prison? Are you going to get life now?
Like, what's the difference between, oh, he killed himself and, oh, he slipped and there was an accident? The homeboy's still dead. Did you need, like a plot line? Did you need a story for your work, Death?
And then the ending too, not just the whole like showing that death cannot be cheated, which I did like, because then that tells you that the franchise can continue for a bit now. But the ending around it too, when it builds up to the protagonist whose name I will never remember,
Alex.
Sure.
It's Alex Browning.
Okay, I'm gonna believe you. I'm just saying, sure. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but when Alex was like went full hermit, I was confused because he went to a cabin, right? Like locked himself away from society.
No, I think he was in his home.
Possibly.
He was in his garage, I think.
Oh yeah, his garage.
Yeah, and he was eating cat food.
That's right. And then I was thinking to myself, where the fuck are your parents, kid? As far as I'm aware, you're still in high school. You haven't graduated yet. So
where the fuck are your parents?
Yeah, like why are your parents just this chill with you, not only commandeering the garage?
Who are your parents?
And he also added his own modifications to the garage too to make sure everything was pretty much death proof.
Like, what if your dad needs to go into the fucking garage, champ?
Alex, I need the fire extinguisher. No,
I need it.
What if it explodes?
What if the circuit breaker? Oh god, the circuit breaker's in here.
Oh god, Dad, I need to get out of here.
Okay, champ, do whatever you need.
So, but overall, the movie sticks at number 3 for me.
Okay.
How about yourself?
So, number 3 for me.
Okay.
Is our newcomer.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Even with all of its, you know, I won't say we're ahead. Final Destination 1 is for my list, but it is ahead of Bloodlines.
Okay.
For all of its possible clunkiness, it is our starting point, so I can't, in good faith, put it at 3.
Coward.
Well, I don't know. I enjoy how there was still an air of mystery to death. Like, I do enjoy the little additions, like the addendums of how to survive death, but in the first one, it felt like no matter how much you squirm and try to wriggle your way away, you're still gonna die. And also, I enjoyed the characters more in the first one than I did in the 6th one.
Okay. I get that.
So, what I will praise about the 6th one, I do enjoy...
Why do you keep calling it 6th one? It has a name.
Bloodlines.
Just call it Bloodline. Everyone's gonna be like, the 6th one? What the hell's the 6th one?
Just in case, I don't want to confuse it for that vampire game. Whatever. I do enjoy the big start to do death. It does give only a fucking white person would be doing this type shit.
Fucking little shit, just throwing pennies off the goddamn balcony.
I loved when he died.
Oh, honestly, that little bastard, just everything about him was oh, kid, you go out wonderfully.
I clapped. And the guy next to us just, what the fuck?
Shut up, here, dude.
He's an annoying little shit. If you're not here to enjoy people dying, why the fuck are you watching a Final Destination film?
Granted.
Like, hey, like, I don't know. These are like, I enjoy like how it led up to it, how the penny, and I guess you could say like, oh, the wind blew the penny back into the vents, because for these movies, death kind of like, or at least in the second onward, death kind of like gives its presence as the wind. And that's why I made a joke, because it's off of like these two guys who were reacting to all the movies, and I was like, oh, it's back, the wind.
It's fucking windy.
So, and I guess that could be the reason. I do enjoy the little tie-ins. I enjoy that we get to learn who the little boy is. Rest in peace, Tony Todd.
Rip.
I gotta say, the deaths were fucking gruesome, but like, and I guess that is like another thing why I couldn't put 1 and 3, because as much as I enjoy a gruesome death, I felt like there was some class in having them be just like basic deaths.
Yeah, I mean, again, like the only one in 1 that was like over the top. It's debatable, honestly, but it goes between either the teacher or American Pie Kid.
Mm-hmm. And so, and I do enjoy how, and even you bring it into like the modern age, like the fucking the cousins all dying. I felt bad for Bobby.
Dude, Bobby was such a fucking good guy, dude. Because like I gotta admit, watching all these Final Destination, I don't want to go too much into it for when I go into my feel about Bloodline.
Yeah.
But seeing a character just go like, okay, so we're all dying, right? What do we do? Like he was immediately on board.
Yeah.
And it was so refreshing to see a character not like be such a whiny little bastard for it.
I can always enjoy a himbo.
Exactly. I was thinking to myself, man, Bobby, you are right.
I love how he's like, I am not dying on basic unsalted peanuts. Give me the fucking peanut butter cups.
I better go out with a Reese's Pieces down my throat, goddammit.
Like that character, whoever wrote his allergy, that is a person that has that actual allergy.
And that's a man who has like lactose intolerance. Is like, you know what the hell with it? I'm gonna have Ben and Jerry's.
And as much, and honestly, like I get how you're like, if you're traumatized by your mom being overbearing and like trying to lock you up for good reason in this movie, yeah, you would not want to talk about it. But if you have a family member who's saying, I am having vivid nightmares nightly, it is affecting my sleep, it is affecting my health, it is affecting my school, tell me about my grandmother. And you keep going, no, it's better. No, the fuck it's not, Howard. It's not better.
Champ, I am on my last probation for school. I need my answers or I need a 45.
I will not be a fucking living example of the Russian sleep experiment. Give me my grandmother's address.
I will not be drawing feces on my wall, goddammit.
And this is why I don't think I can put Bloodlines higher. It's just, I needed, what is Stephanie? I needed her to be more fucking insistent. I needed her to be, like, an American. I needed her to be pushy, loud, say, motherfucker.
I gotta admit,
I need to fix this.
She was more of a crier than the one in the Final Destination. Because, like, I know it's hard to convince people that you're not crazy for when you have crazy shit going on.
Yeah.
But she was such a crybaby for everything. And look, I get it. It's understandable. You're stressed. You're about to get killed. So you're panicking at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But she was not doing anything to help any situation out. There was no logic or reason. Because you see other protagonists try their best to find logic and sound body or mind for what can be done. She was more just being overbearing and pushing people away, which drove some of them to their death, actually.
Yeah.
So, if she just at least tried to come at it from a different angle, I probably would be more supportive. But no, it was just blowing up phones for every 5 seconds. You alive? You alive? You alive?
Are you alive? Did it get you? If it got him, how the fuck would he respond?
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, just think of something else. Shut up.
I gotta admit, I did like that fake out.
Oh, for Eric?
Yeah.
God, I was so thinking to myself.
I was like, damn, adding some drama.
That one. Oh, okay. We can talk about it briefly. Yeah, I gotta admit, I had a feeling that's what was going to happen because when I saw him when he survived.
Yeah,
he survived.
Initially.
Yeah, when he survived initially, and I was thinking to myself, okay, there's no way Stephanie does not know who the oldest is. So there's got to be something up right now.
Like maybe, in my mind, I was like, if he didn't fucking die, maybe it was like a twin thing where they fucked up and forgot who was born first, maybe. But no, they're just finding out, oh yeah, you're not your father's son.
Yeah, I was thinking like, man, this guy's having a rough day. Loses his dad, loses his grandma, almost got his nose piercing ripped off. It's been a rough 24 hours, hasn't it? Got branded, yeah.
I'm gonna say, literally, like, really? Dad?
Look, I don't know.
Dad?
I don't know what more you can put on for a tattoo of someone who just died.
The date he died, or maybe his actual fucking name, but just Dad.
Do you want to be reminded about the date someone died?
For a lot of people, they do have that on their bodies. Like, it's the day you lose someone you love, and I get for some people, maybe I heart dad, but dad.
In the whole, like, what was it, Times New Roman font?
It wasn't Times New Roman. It was like
Gregorian.
It was like, yeah, some kind of Gregorian ass fucking fun. Clearly, you can see that I didn't take graphic design classes.
Don't worry, I got my history major kicking effect for a bit.
And
what?
I do love the roundabout of the penny.
What?
The penny.
Oh my fucking god, that goddamn penny.
I do love that it was the same penny.
You thought I was gone, ho.
Like, I love how extra Death made it just to use this fucking penny to end the entire thing.
It started with a penny, it's gonna end with a penny, ho.
But and I guess what keeps it lower is, again, Stephanie and even like the family. You made it sound like y'all were so close growing up, but you also don't take Stephanie seriously when she is in a major personality switch. She's never seemed like a conspiracy theorist, but all of a sudden she's got this fucking timeline written out in your living room. Maybe you want to say, we should pay attention at least a little bit.
What you see, I think my problem with that statement from you, at the very least, was that they kind of do give the reason why they've now suddenly turned cold to Stephanie, because it seems she was buddies with Julie and
Charlie.
Thank you. At the start, but it seems like after she got to college and everything started happening, she just distanced herself, and you start seeing that as more of that being shown by Charlie, who was very like
pointed,
that like, you're no better than mom right now because you don't even talk to me anymore, you don't answer my calls, you don't text me, like, you say you're busy right now, but you only see you during holidays, and at that it's only for a short time anyways. Like, I think I understand how it turned from being a close-knit family from childhood to a slowly dissolved one as they get older.
Yeah. I guess it's just a difference in, like, how upbringing affects how you see things.
True, I get that.
Because, yeah, I grew up single mother, so yes, she was busy, and I wasn't perturbed by it, I guess. So maybe like a family member leaving for something like work or school and not being able to contact you for a long while despite you reaching out, I don't feel like it's out of place. But maybe for you, whose family like checks in with each other every day and you update them on small stupid things, like, yeah, that tracks with you that maybe she wasn't doing the right thing. So I don't know. Again, this is my list and that's my reasoning.
Yeah, I get you. No worry.
No, absolutely fucking not would I step foot on a dance floor that's made of glass.
I'm telling you, like, that is some batshit white person stuff.
I don't know if it's the 50s.
It's 60s.
No, I'm just saying, like, the 50s or the 60s, thinking, why in God's name would you put, and I'm assuming this because of how easily the ground broke, a crystal chandelier above a glass floor? Crystal can break glass.
Mm-hmm.
And who's the inspector? Why hasn't he been fired?
Well, they did say they finished 5 months early, so I'm assuming the inspector was pretty much
and
not
was
told.
he in attendance and dying?
I'm telling you, the inspector was not even told about the date when they were going to open.
Probably.
Like, he got the call just 5 minutes after just sitting down for dinner. Hey, what happened now, Jerry? What do you mean the entire building collapsed?
You're never going to believe it.
You're going to get a big pay raise right now, dog.
Like, it's normal while you're watching, like, the big death scenes to feel pissed off about things. But it's just the glass floor with the crystal chandelier. That's... Oh my god, I'm embodying Steven right now.
You're going too well into the logical route, dog.
I know I have to suspend belief for a Final Destination film, but seriously?
Well, I'm pretty sure that also ties into, like, that bougie lifestyle that was
granted
into that. Because it had the husband try to bring him in, but, the asshole concierge was like, no, you're not Good enough for you.
I'm gonna. I mean, he didn't say that. He just said you're not on the list. Like he did try to get through a buddy, but if the buddy's not there to help you out, it's not the host's job to get you in.
Yeah, but the thing is, they said they fired the buddy that morning, so I'm assuming they were in the know that what the buddy tried to do, and pretty much tried to put a stop to it from that.
I won't blame the host. If anything, I'll say the host was trying to be a hero.
Hell no, he was not. The minute he like turned to the next person in line, was all cheerful, like, "Oh, Mr. Davenport."
I would have taken the fucking L and left, and I would have been fine. But no, you just had to go up to the roof, propose, and get the fuck out. That's all you had to do.
Fair enough. There was also a stairs that led to the roof.
I felt so bad for the mother, though.
True.
Like that was gruesome. That was fucking, oh my god. That was Shakespearean almost. But yeah, that is my 3. That is Final Destination Bloodlines is at 3 for me. It was a good movie. It just didn't deserve to be higher than the other 2 for me.
All right, well then I guess that's a good connecting point for my number 2.
All right.
Number 2 is actually going to be Bloodline. Because despite my own hesitation for a protagonist, because again, she was such a crybaby for most of the film.
Yeah.
No reason, no logic, just pure, "Are you alive? Are you alive?" And then I got more upset when she went to get answers, got answers, and was like, "Yeah, maybe not." So, despite that though, I think the story overall still was more close knit and tight than what the other ones have been like.
Yeah.
Because for me, at the very least, Bloodline had started to explore a new approach to it, not just being one of hesitation like you see in other movies, like of a character trying their best. It's pretty much they had to live through the consequences of arrogance and ignorance.
Yeah.
To finally accept, okay, what do we do now, man? We are in shit. We are deep water right now. So when we finally get to the family all agreeing we need to do something to help out, and then we go explore the routes, find out I think it was kind of weird how they had to reintroduce the system of like either create life, take life, or die.
Well, no, they disproved the create life one. That's why Bloodworth didn't say that. He said you had to kill or die.
Oh, okay. I okay. All right, my mistake. But I know it was for the characters. Makes sense. But I don't know. Maybe that's for an audience perspective. Since we already know that option, they probably could have tried to at least have that as a cliff note from Nana's books.
Yeah.
Instead of having Tony. No, we need Tony Todd.
We need Tony Todd.
We could have had Tony just come in as another. Was he again mortician?
Well, he was still a mortician.
Yeah, he could have was like a mortician finally for Grandma. Just one last go, if you will. Though. That didn't take too much away from the story, because overall, like, even the progression of the story felt more smoothly than the others, in my opinion, honestly.
Yeah.
When it got to the final climax,
I was pissed and laughing.
So I'm not talking about that final part.
Oh.
Well, not just that final part. Sorry. I was also talking about the mom when they got to the cabin again, because fucking death still serves the nastiest look ever, because when the mom was standing there,
I will stay alive. You better work, bitch.
I'm like, wow, okay, champ, you gotta tell me something right now, because if you're going to be this dirty, then honestly, serve.
Death looked at its watch, said, okay, we're over an hour 10. We need to wrap this shit up.
The budget's running out. Just fall.
Yeah, there you go.
So just that part, and then the ending was such a reminiscence of the Final Destination, because you remember how or a lot of them actually, now think about it, because you remember how specifically though in the fourth one, how They were sitting at the cafe,
Yeah, and then the
and then it was more like him finally realizing, oh, we didn't cheat death. We just got
prolonged it.
yeah, we just got everyone at the right place at the wrong time now. Uh-oh. They did that?
Chocolate chip with sprinkles.
What the hell are you talking about?
He's like talking about his order, and like I don't think it's actually chocolate chip. I'm just remembering Biden for half a second.
Oh my god.
But he's talking about his drink, and then I remember he goes with sprinkles.
Yeah, I get that red 40 in you before that big rig comes running over, dog. But it was very reminiscent of that because when the dad was like, she didn't really die. Yeah, it was like if she came back to life after you gave CPR, she was knocked out. And then the both of them were like, oh. And then we're gonna get now to your part, one you love hated, because when the train crash was happening, we all were genuinely just shouting in the theater to run like hell.
Keep running.
Keep going no matter what. And then the crash stops, everything stops, and they're standing there in a like rubble.
They're like, oh.
They finally made it. And then you hear creaking again, pan up. Motherfucker logs were just hurled at them like this was a goddamn competition. And then
it killed in order. It killed the sister, and then it killed the brother.
Immediately.
Back to back.
And this is what I was telling Sunspot when we were leaving the theater. That I'm pretty sure now Death was just tired of the movie franchise because rarely before, because he's done it before one time, we'll talk about it later, he rarely kills people at the exact same time in these movies. In at least the main cast. He could probably do it for everyone else inside that you don't see later. But for the main cast, everyone else gets their own unique deaths. These two, genuinely, he said, fuck you, hurled 2 logs at them and called it a day. And the fact the movie just ended right there too was such a cherry on the top. Now, one thing I will say too that made this more unique than the other movies, it didn't have the premonition. Like,
it didn't have Stephanie having her own premonition.
Yeah, it didn't have that unique premonition. She didn't see her family dying. She just saw
the beginning.
Yeah, what her grandmother saw. So it wasn't that standard approach about how you see people die in order, because she that's actually another one thing I'll give her credit for. She pieced it together. She says if Des is going by order still, and then by order they go from people in line of birth. Yeah. Then we're going to go from the oldest on this side and then the oldest on that subsequently, and then go over there, and then boom, the bloodline's over. What was also funny for me in the movie was Eric and Bobby just like, look, you either die or you kill someone. And I don't think you can kill someone without knowing how long they have.
They look at the babies.
There's a little baby kid. No.
Don't touch those babies.
I'm not going to touch the babies, but I mean...
It gave like a legitimate like sibling dialogue, honestly.
Honestly, they were just like... this one could talk about that plot twist.
Yeah.
Just after you finding out that the mom cheated and that Eric wasn't really the bio brother, like the full brother. It was so fucking hilarious.
Really? That guy?
Peterson? I need to know who the hell this asshole is that Eric was so disgusted with.
We are not either the demographic that knows who that is or the generation. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. We'll get to it.
The truth after that, though, was just how it was really touching somewhat how desperate Eric was to save Bobby. Bobby seemed more like scared but accepting at the same time because he didn't want Eric to do anything that would get him in trouble or hurt.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But Eric was like that desperate to save his brother because he seemed to have like loved Bobby.
Yeah.
Like he really wanted his brother to survive. But the deaths themselves too were all, despite it being obviously heavy CG, they were really good for the most part.
Yeah.
Honestly, when that lady had gotten, what was it? Oh, she had gotten crushed by the piano.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're the poor bitch.
I know.
She hears the creaking. She slowly turns. I thought she was like looking up at Iris, glaring at her. I'm like, bitch, what the fuck are you looking at? But then I saw the piano.
And then a fucking penny again.
It's like, oh, that penny.
Change, bitch.
Heads. Bones.
But all the deaths for the movie too, they were like unique. And I'm telling you, for modern generation, I think they're going to instill a new sense of fear for the MRI machine. More,
Yeah.
if not the MRI machine, I think for just glass objects, because just how anxious I was when the broken glass went into a cup.
The ice, yeah.
Yeah, into the ice and went to the cup. Like thinking to myself, man, sure it would suck if someone just started drinking that. Can you just fucking drink or dump the glass now, dude? I'm really not liking how it keeps going through your lips.
Honestly. I think part of like the suspense for that scene was up until a certain point, we didn't know whose glass it was in.
I'm pretty sure it was in Stephanie's dad.
Yes, it was, but we had to like wait to figure that out because he had to drink it down.
Yeah. And then the deaths more to it were all around creative, both premonition and actual. Because it's one thing to just have them fall to their deaths. It's another thing to just see the splatter onto the ground.
I fucking love the ballets.
It's raining.
Like literally, there's people falling and they're moving around like they're trying to see if they can help. No, champ, you should be running for cover.
Jerry, do you think she's dead? Her body is now visceral. I'm confident she's dead, Bob.
That is full on Hiroshima bomb splatter.
That is not recoverable.
We're not helping that.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, the premonition death has been my favorite for the movie franchise overall.
You're gonna be listening to both Shout and Dusty Road to Dublin.
Oh God, honestly, Sinners and Bloodline are really ruining my playlist tunes right now. But still, the deaths were just overall creative, and honestly, they went all out in the perfect manner for them.
Yeah,
because they were graphic, heavily CG, obviously, and I like traditional, so
you like practical.
Everyone
practical. Loves practical.
It's the same goddamn thing.
I'm just being specific.
Yeah, but either way, the deaths too were just graphic enough to be appropriate for Final Destination, yet also in that realm of possibility. Because when the uncle died, I was, wow, oh, hey, do you think he's okay? No, he's not okay.
I hate that joke you make so much. You think they're okay? No! Optics! His fucking face is literal mincemeat!
Optics, there's a pipe going through her face right now. I do not think.
There is a fucking weather vane dislocating her jaw from her entire skull. No, she's not okay. Both these motherfuckers make Chris Walker look like a fucking makeup model, okay?
Fresh meats.
Piggy pig.
So
I will say though,
yep,
what I liked, and I want to say this was intentional, but if it wasn't and it was accidental, it was classy. How it goes, it's the credits.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has died.
Yeah.
From the descendants from the original line, like everyone has died, and the penny keeps rolling down the red line, like on the timeline, and it fades to black, and then it goes to the in memory of Tony Todd.
That was a very nice touch. I honestly miss Tony Todd.
I feel like if that, whether that was accidental or intentional, that is an excellent like way of saying the line is ended, because Tony Todd's character was the last one destined to die.
That is true, actually, in the movie, because he was that little.
He was a little boy.
He was the little boy who was pretty much the last one to die on the. Which also makes me wonder: do you think he was aware of that growing up too, or did he like find that out later?
I think once he started realizing that these other people that were at the party were starting to die, and then Iris got in contact with him and told him about this, and he started being sort of like a proxy explaining the rules, he got it. So I'd say he had a long, and what I'm gonna say this like as just like abstractly, I don't actually know any morticians, but I do know from like the few people that have worked with death like intimately, like the bodies. I mean, like my mother, who has been a geriatric nurse my entire life. Like even ask the mortician on YouTube. They're very comfortable and accepting that death is coming. It's our inevitable end. So maybe it's his profession along with that knowledge from that disaster that it's coming, that he's already accepted it.
Now, also, I guess a follow up question: do you think he had any kids?
I don't think so. There's no mention of it. Maybe that would be a good reason, like maybe his explanation as to why he never did. Like, so it just ends with him.
True, and then it just stops. Honestly, when I was watching it, and I had to see it, there was after credits, which are none.
Yeah.
Because I was worried to myself, are they going to show Tony Todd character dying?
I'm glad they were like respectful enough not to.
Yeah, especially more since the fandom too for the movies were already having him as a spokesperson for this, if you will.
Yeah.
Because well, I'm now accepting that he wasn't Death because, you know, very convenient. You're everywhere. They die, Tony. I know you're a mortician and everything, but it's very convenient.
Like that was a thing that like a lot of people were like wanting. Like they wanted him to be Death. Sort of like, I don't know if there's like a comparison, but it's sort of like you are the villain, but you're just like, hey, you can squirm if you want to. But I'm both okay with him not being and okay with the headcanon of him being. So I know I was also one of the people that's like, yeah, I would fuck with like the idea of him being Death, because he's got the voice, he's got the candor, he's got the swagger, presence. Yeah, the existence. But I guess it's okay that he's not. He's just a mortician who's comfortable with death.
All right. Well, that's my reason for Bloodline being at number 2.
Okay.
And what's your number 2, champ?
My number 2 is Final Destination 1.
Okay.
For a lot of, I love that the deaths are more commonplace. Like, yes, these could happen. You slip and you get strangled by a loose cord. A plane can crash at any time. A piece of scrap metal could be sent flying off a train. You could fucking get hit by a falling sign, which I do love that sign is a 180 as well. I love the reoccurring. When it comes out for like streaming, if we have whatever services on, I will watch Bloodline again to see if 180 is anywhere in the movie, just as like, you know, a little Easter egg.
Well, on Max you have the entire franchise, so I'm pretty sure Bloodline will come to Max.
Hopefully. And I love how there's the recurring of 180s, and yeah, and also as much as you like fucking get annoyed with the characters, you do sort of feel like more close and comfortable with them. Like even Carter, yeah, you get the Carter, you dick.
That's almighty, I think third time quoting it.
It is the funniest fucking line. It's the most memorable. And even you can be hit by a bus that just steamrolls you down. I love that they had to add that scene of Alex and Clear like having Alka-Seltzer right after that bitch dying.
Oh, that's
because the test audiences were like, we need a minute.
Who was it? Was that the bus?
The bus killed Carter's girlfriend.
Yeah, but was that the transition?
Yeah, it went from her getting ran by the bus to immediately like Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah, Alka-Seltzer. That's right.
It's just, yeah, it's pretty simple, and I guess what puts it at 2 is like, yeah, it was like a loose footing. It's just getting its foot in the water. It's starting out. But also, why it felt like Death was trying to frame Alex like a murderer. Like, it felt like deliberately how it was covering its tracks and then killing. It was trying to make Alex seem like the murderer.
Well, like you said, wasn't this supposed to be like a tie-in to X-Files?
It was supposed to be an X-Files episode, but I don't know. I've never seen the X-Files, so I can't, like...
It's kind of... X-Files is kind of like the supernatural stuff. I know you're not a sci-fi person, so if I can have a moment for this at least.
Oh, okay.
I just want to say X-Files is like a sci-fi thing that's similar to stuff like what was it? Fracture, I think it's Fracture, Warehouse 13. Pretty much like something bizarre happens, you go investigate it, and then you find out if it's aliens, ghosts, demons, whatever. Think of like supernatural.
Kind of like an anthology, but connected.
No. For X-Files specifically, you follow the same people, Sculler and
Mulder and Scully.
Thank you, Mulder and Scully. You follow them pretty much investigating like small town disappearances, incidents that are happening. So you go with storyline. It's different.
Sci-fi supernatural.
Yeah, sci-fi supernatural.
Or supernatural is horror X-Files.
Yeah, I genuinely don't think there's a show you've watched that can be like equivalent to that.
Okay. Then yeah. And I guess it's just that opening, and also, I guess what would piss me off is just we go through all these like commonplace, but like it's not. It felt a little classy. Like as much as I love the blood and guts, these deaths felt like they had a little class. Like yeah, these happen. There's not much you can do about it.
Well, they're mostly practical effects too.
Yeah, mostly practical effects because you just you're just starting out. Your budget's not huge.
And like all it was pretty much just like a standard way to go out.
Yeah.
And again, the only one that probably took some effort to do was
Dude Bro.
Yeah, I forget his name all the time. But having his death being like a half capitation, like just from his look like his lips up.
Yeah, from like through his mouth.
Yeah, something like that. Like having that part just severed off because of a she metal.
Yeah.
You know, that obviously took some effect, some artwork to do, some talent.
I guess what puts it at 2 versus 1 is just and it's also the reason I guess is explained not in this movie but in either the next one or the third one is how our main dude dies.
Oh, that's such a bitch way to go out, dude.
A brick?
Like, you're telling me he did all the right shit and he just dies because of a brick? Why the fuck did I just see someone get their head knocked off and he just gets because a brick fell on his head?
A brick?
I'm telling you, like, that's pretty much was like, you know what? Fuck it. Brick.
I'm done with you. Bye.
Yeah. I don't know more about, like, any other way it could have been. Because, again, it was the first movie, and a lot of them seem to have died in at least a more, quote-unquote, respectful, practical manner.
Mm.
The only one that can be given some exception, if they had even shown it, was the bully.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure if we saw what happened to the bully, that would have been a stain on the French street.
Oh, here comes our potato, our little baked potato.
But, yeah, either way.
Come on, Nana. Give me your 1.
Oh, you already done with yours?
Yeah, I'm already done with mine. I said like a lot of what I wanted to say when you gave your placement for Final Destination 1.
Fair enough. All right. So, well, I mean, what is it? It's the power of deduction. We already know what number 1's for both of ours. Like, we only deviated from 2 and 3, but everything else has been the same. So,
yeah.
number 1 is the one we both agree on, right?
Yes.
Final Destination 2.
Yes. The traumatizer of a generation.
You can keep it like that. I'm going to give you my reason that's not even related to that. Because while that scene, the log truck might have been traumatizing for a generation, trust me, it is for me too. It's not what makes it number 1 for the entire franchise.
Mm.
What makes number 2 the best of the entire franchise itself was this was full of desperation. These were the characters doing what they can to survive and escape death. We didn't have any bizarre subplots. We didn't have any too many characters that were like obscene or like full of vile venom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't really cheer for anyone's death per se. Maybe that asshole guy who had shit on his boot and tried to make another person smell it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
loved watching him get dissected by that.
Honestly, man, I did not cheer for that. I wasn't rooting for his death. When they all died, I was more shocked by how they went out.
Yeah.
So the deaths in both premonition and then in actuality were, again, extraordinarily creative.
Mm-hmm.
Premonition deaths for this movie, as you might know, obviously, log truck causing everything to go haywires, and pretty much seeing how the cop's head just explodes. Firstly, damn well good practical. Just having, I think it was supposed to be a melon combined with red liquid to make it look more explosive.
It was still a dummy's head, but it
this is what films should be, is practical, but with the assistance of CGI.
Right.
Because yeah, they did have to digitally add our homeboy cop's face onto the dummy's head, but that was still a dummy that got its fucking noggin.
Can I also add something like slightly toxic, quote unquote?
Go ahead.
When in that premonition, the biker dude, the asshole man,
Yeah.
as we call him, died. And you know how he died? Because he got squished between two logs?
I thought another like he got thrown. Oh,
No, that was the black dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, the black dude was the one that got squished between two logs. Because the asshole dude got hit by
His own bike.
No.
I swear he got hit.
We might need to watch that death scene again.
Okay, let me boot it up. Keep talking. Give me the remote.
I'll just put it on right now.
Okay.
We got the TV right here. But you keep talking while I look at it.
What puts it at 1 for me is, yes, that big action scene. It is, it felt, it is practical effects, and god damn it, do I love practical effects, because it makes it look real. It looks like, oh shit, this shit's happening. And I love it so much. It was so well done that it did traumatize a generation. I will not drive behind a log truck. I will literally get into the next lane and then book it. Even if it is a 2-lane highway, I will break the law to get around this logging truck. Like, that is how much it fucked me up, and a lot of people up. Okay,
hold on. All right, so we're at the scene. We have it in the background if you're curious what we're talking about right now.
okay.
So we got now the
Asshole.
douchebag guy in his car. I'm telling you, he gets hit by another
Okay, he gets hit by the big rig.
garbage
So
truck.
then I guess the
The black dude is the one who got crushed by the bike.
okay, then yeah.
Go further just to be sure, because I'm pretty sure that's what happens.
She gets crushed and flipped. The mom, honestly, I do need like an explanation how fucking old this kid is.
Yeah, I forgot how wild that death was, because I don't think it would have exploded on impact from a log collision, because she drove into it, obviously, but I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a car explode like that, not even for like a freeway crash.
There's the, oh my god, and it's just, the deaths in this movie overall are like,
Oh, it's the guy who got impaled by the
ladder.
yeah.
I loved that, because you did have a moment of, oh, okay, maybe oh, nope.
He didn't make it. Oh no, you know what? Then this begs the question, because if it talks about deaths going in order, we saw that this guy dies first. Like,
Yeah, I think you need to go back a little, because
right
remember, the cop dies first.
yeah, the cop dies first. Here it is.
Yeah, he gets crushed by his bike.
Yeah. So going back to my little toxic thing, when I first saw that, I genuinely thought he could have just pushed it out the way.
Oh my god.
It's easily sliding, just kick it out the way.
It's a several ton vehicle still.
I was so unhousely like obsessed with the idea that he could have just moved it away and then that's it. Like,
is this your Titanic door scene?
kind of. I'm not dying on the hill obviously because I'm older and now realize that there's no way he could have avoided it. But I'm still standing on it when I was young that he definitely could have had like an easier way to escape this.
I also do enjoy you bringing back in Clear Rivers. I do enjoy her coming back, even if she's a little. I actually can't say that she's any different because, again, as an art person, yeah, you tend to be fucking a little off kilter no matter what happens. So even if she locks herself up in a fucking nut house, she's still gonna be a little special. Oh, the cop.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't really.
I love CGI helping with the bounce, with the dude getting fucking Gallagher through the head. It's such a beautiful scene. I love it.
Pure practical mayhem. Like,
And it's so gorgeous.
honestly, shot well enough. The only thing that our CG, you can tell, firstly, that explosion. You see that?
Yeah.
Fucking Christ, that just looked like a Looney Tunes style one.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of the explosions were also practical as well.
Well, this one, but I'm talking about this one in particular. This, like, you know, see, it's like a blink and you miss it kind of moment.
Crushed.
But right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, like that's so like layered over the actual scene itself that it's just completely ignoring the background.
Like I like the ladder. I like the. If there's one I don't like, it's Clear's, because it's very obviously CGI that she's like getting her face burned away.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I don't think.
I know you can't avoid that since you're showing it happening as it does, but it's like early 2000s CGI, so you can't like.
But can we give a credit though how like medically interesting it got at that point, because it showed that how pure oxygen is just as explosive as other chemicals.
Absolutely.
Because I was thinking to myself at that age, but you still breathe oxygen every day. How is it explosive? Now I'm older. Now I know what pure oxygen is like.
Pure oxygen will fuck you up, man.
Mm-hmm.
We need a little nitrogen to survive.
That's right. So when now I rewatch it, I'm thinking to myself, ooh, someone went to Yale for their medical degree in this movie.
Someone went to Yale.
Someone went to Google MD, was like, hold on now.
Someone went to Johns Hopkins. They didn't go to DeVry.
They went to Hill University. So that's aside, despite them all being as equally unique and as anxiety, paranoid inducing as they were in generations now, what was fascinating for this story was just how they're slowly coming to terms with this is now a possibility. Like, this was the first movie of the franchise, obviously, that had people thinking it could be next. Yes, the first one touched base into it a little bit, but for the most part, everyone was still thinking that Alex was just a killer in general. It wasn't until we got to like the final four that people were starting to realize maybe he's got a point.
Yeah.
Everyone was just built up to Alex being a killer, so it didn't expand more on that. This is the one first movie of the franchise itself that has everyone start wondering, oh, the person who was crazy actually has a point.
They're pretty much on board after the second death.
Yeah. It was real quick, like okay, real.
maybe this is real.
Yeah, and like honestly too, seeing how this also introduced the person trying to just, somewhat cheat death or accelerate death by having multiple ways of going out.
Yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, it was the biker dude who was saying, I tried to shoot myself, the bullet didn't go off. I took some pills, I threw them back up.
Yeah.
I tried to do a lot of stuff, but nothing came from it. So seeing how even at that point though, despite throwing himself to death was still just being so petty.
Wait your turn.
You'll be next eventually.
No cutting the line.
So spiteful, so petty, so wonderful.
I do love how it. This is a movie that doesn't end with like a grand death that catches up to our main characters, because she, if you discredit like that fucking like DVD extra for like another movie, she's still alive.
No, and she's actually confirmed to be the only survivor who has ever had premonition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the last like death is not hers or like a roundup of everyone. It's or poor Bud Mickey, who was just trying to help one of the bitches out of the car.
What was the reason though again? It was that he pulled somebody out. No, it was the pregnant lady, wasn't it? No. Sorry, the pregnant lady was never supposed to die in the first place.
Yeah, she never died.
She got injured but never did. And then
I honestly do think it was just death going, hey, watch yourself, because he didn't show up until the van like crashed into that field that was where that one lady and then the asshole dude died.
Don't worry, buddy. I got you 5 seasons on Shameless. Just follow my lead.
Just follow my lead. Pretend to be an asshole with like internalized homophobia. You'll get there.
And then you'll be another asshole with internalized homophobia.
Look, you had to act with Josh Peck. Now you got to do Final Destination. Now you get your own main slot on a Showtime TV show.
Now you get the dad from Jurassic Park 3.
Now you're people's favorite character.
Eh.
Out of everyone in that show,
What
he becomes your favorite character.
about what was her name? The brunette one?
Fiona?
Yeah.
She has her moments where you go back and forth on her too.
How about Debbie though?
Debbie starts great and then it goes downhill.
Oh well, there goes Debbie.
Oh, there goes Debbie.
Okay, but back to our foundation guy. We could talk about Shameless another time, but I'd say though, character-wise, everyone was not insufferable, and I think what made this actually more interesting for the start point was usually the premonitions save like friends, right?
Yeah.
This didn't save any friend.
Friends all fucking died immediately after.
Mm-hmm. Like she got out, she got lucky, but her friends were still killed.
Yeah.
So pretty much like that premonition was jack shit. It helped other people out, yeah, but it still did not help the people who were in her life.
I feel like 1 and 2 are the only films where the teenagers do feel like teenagers.
True. That is actually true. Well, 2, they were college students, I think. They were going on a road trip, weren't they?
Yeah, let me double check. I mean, I know some families, I don't know, man. It's the early 2000s. Parents were a little bit lax. Let me see. Keep talking. I'm looking up something.
Yeah, so I'm watching the scene right now, too. I gotta say, though, I have no idea what the safety protocols had to have been because, firstly, you're on wet road. I think that was already a good sign to be like cautious and clear of everyone around you. I don't know how they were so. I don't want to sound like a Karen or like a good two shoes when I say this, but I don't think anyone should be driving over at least 55 on a rainy highway. Like go under and be cautious of your surroundings. I don't know if that would have saved lives. But, I mean, you could have the time to brake and get the hell out the way and avoid logs or any incoming traffic.
Mm.
And then, oh yeah, that little shit who just has 2 cars, like, butting heads with each other.
Pile up, pile up.
I've always wondered if those kind of characters, because another thing about these movies is that...
Oh, fuck me, she's 19, I guess. Never mind.
Yeah, college student. Oh, yeah. But about these movies is that sometimes they do have a character that golds a reaction. Like in Bloodline, you have the little shit throwing a penny.
Yeah.
And then this one, you have the little shit who's just like trying to...
But I'm actually laughing at this little shit.
Eh.
I'm not laughing at the little shit with his penny.
Either way, there's like at least a handful of side points where they're like foreshadowing, goading a reaction or fate to do something. And then it happens. And then you're trying to think to yourself, damn, is that person alive still? Bloodline, that little bastard ain't. That was such a comeuppance.
It was comedic, honestly.
If you're wondering why we're like laughing at that point, it's because he was such an asshole to everybody, like disrespectful, taunting and mocking everybody. He even jumped on the glass to like get a reaction out of people in the elevator. So he had it coming.
Our reaction to this child dying is proof enough that neither of us should be parents.
Well, that's not even just that, dog. It's more of the fact that he was such a pain in the ass to anybody else that I didn't have too much sympathy for it. But
you did explain that you wanted to see his like death when he got older.
Oh yeah, I was curious about it. I was curious about how or when Des got to that point. But back to our list. Honestly, I don't think we can have any more to say about our list because we seem to be in agreement that number 2 is number 1 on our list.
Yes.
You got anything else you want to add for that?
I will specify if there's one thing I don't like about the second movie. Why was Clear's hair dyed? I'm wondering, cause it's to the root. So that means that during her stay in the facility, she had access to hair dye and like, or at least there was like a salon service. And if I don't know, I'm just thinking about all I've heard about like mental health facilities. They ain't letting you do that. I don't know. It feels like even if it could pose like a swallowing hazard, and you like checked yourself in there for your like different reasons, they wouldn't like have it there. I don't know. It might be a logistical thing for me, but that's the only thing that takes me out of it, honestly.
All right. Well, I guess you went too legit. Oh, there you go, burning. This scene's still playing on the background. I mean, the guy, I'm more surprised he survived that initial explosion. Because that was like head on. And then here comes.
Apply directly to the forehead.
Head on. I like how they try to make that truck look.
Yeah, this is not Christine.
This isn't your mother's, Christine.
I feel like even after watching Bloodlines, I'm probably either gonna buy or steal one of Steven's like pocket knives, because they also have the seatbelt cutter part on the back end, and then also like a blunt end where you could break a car window if you're stuck.
All right. Well, I think that's a good point to leave it off, though.
Yeah.
At this point, we've come to our conclusion that Final Destination 2 is the best, and the Final Destination has to be the worst of the franchise.
Yes.
There's no debate about it. Apparently, we really have a similar mind for one another.
That's why we're besties. But why is your leg so sweaty?
Covered in blanket most of the time, dude.
Why are you covered in a blanket?
Cozy.
Oh, God.
Well, either way, you live and learn. And remember, kids, don't throw pennies off of a high tower. Don't speed on rainy roads. Make sure you don't go to racetracks. Make sure you avoid planes. Make sure you avoid pools.
Just
make sure you avoid freeways.
Indoors.
Follow SpongeBob SquarePants. You can have 3 best friends for the rest of your life. You'll be fine.
And one of those best friends was
A
plot
penny.
twist, a penny.
But either way, for this episode and our ranking system, give your opinions. We really will appreciate hearing what you guys have to say about our possibly most correctly list. I'm not wrong. I know I'm not wrong. My list is correct.
We're Virgos. We're never incorrect.
Christ
when
almighty,
it comes
stop bringing your space racism into my shit.
I love my space racism.
And probably your white half taking that.
Oh my God! Really?
Either way, this has been Optics.
This has been Sunspot.
Bye.
Bye. I'll beat you.